Good evening. Hi, Karim. Today, I'm going to explain a little bit about what I always talk about the being, right? A lot of people don't have um, real idea about what we are talking about, and maybe I'll attempt to make myself clear so that people know what is going on. See, this is a statement that I put it up there, that pristine state of our being is so simple, but we miss it all the time, right? So it's a kind of, we have so many things around religions, traditions, creeds, and so many philosophies and explanations and all that. But our real inner self, which is the life, sense of life, right? We all have that. And that is so close to us, we usually leave that and go outside looking for it, right? All the time. And that's not really needed, but because we kind of put up a artificial image of us, like a virtual self now is going to come like that. We also do something within our mind and then stick to it and then say, this is I am, this is the states I have, these are the mindsets I have, this is the way I take, all those things. But when we realize that's all our created, like a thought and structural things, they dissolve, and then we will be with your real self. Um, See, it all comes down to the perspective. How do you view your self? Do you think you are the body and the mind, or you are something beyond that? That is the argument for centuries. So the ancients felt that we are that life force, and life force is something from the God, or the yeah, something omnipresent, omnipotent, all over, right? And then it is eternal. Right? That means it lasts on. Out of that, a spark of that is comes and gives birth to us, life to us, and as we grow, we forget about the spark that is giving us the life, but we identify with the body and mind. Everybody is included. I was also, but then understanding comes when you really focus yourself, and then really go through body and mind. You kind of peel the layers and then go to your pristine being. That is the one we want to be with, and we want to identify with, and we want to really relish what we are. So many systems have come, but we don't even have to be knowledgeable. We don't even have to be um, telling everybody all these things. All this we have to do is just be, just be that being of life force that we feel inside. I am. Once you are there, then uh, all the uh, chatter that we have about ourselves and everything else probably will stop, and we'll have more fun. Probably like the kids, they don't have the burden of this, and so until the time they develop a personality or something like that, then they may not be allowing the mind to run, right? But these days we do them injustice, introducing them to this mind chatter way early. Okay, people are not realizing that how damaging that is. If you allow the kids to be carefree, not to worry about anything, and live the childhood as long as they could, for that it's like a 12, 10, 12 years, right? Then we can, it dawned on us what is what, and then we began to get into the trap of the ego and all that. Okay, but then we are really not that. By the time we realize that our lifespan time is spent usually, we are not fortunate to get it very early. As I was embarking on this, as I was studying deeply, I was drawn in, and there's nothing else we want to learn except what's going on here. And then, when it dawns on you, you are really that being, that self, that spark of life, consciousness, whatever you call it. Okay? Some people call it the self, some people call it like God, some people call it as love, some people call it energy. Whatever the thing is, we intuitively know that that inner self of ours is the one which gives us life. Right? Once you really fall into that by understanding by taking the layers off, then you should look at how simple that was. Why did we complicate it for my life and really making such a big deal about this, right? So be aware of that, and then you will be able to land into it probably, provided you kind of keep the mind clear and really not be in the trap of that. Okay, I'm taking a sip of water. Excuse me. So once you identify that so simple, uh, not getting caught in this complicated web that we weave around ourselves looks like a real injustice done to all of us with all this education, all these teachings, preachings are really approving, disapproving, or praising, ridiculing, all those things that we because we are doing them, and the wars and the killings, all those things probably look meaningless to us, right? Um, so, but then the thing is, you got to come to it by yourself. There lies the challenge. Because by the time we realize we may be doctrined into a particular system, it doesn't matter whichever it is, that won't allow you to really open up your mind and think deeply because you are afraid. You don't want to go against the grain, and all those things happen too. So just to throw them away and then be ourselves is the simplest thing to do, but we are so entrenched into dogmatic thinking, we can get rid of it. Okay? The freedom is when you really see these things and get on. There is a nice saying I heard that made lots of sense to me was when you go through this uh, gaining understanding of this pristine state we are talking about, then what happens to is all these layers really falling down. There is a saying called praptasya prapti, nivrittasya nivritti. That's a Sanskrit what they said was praptasya means you surely get what you are, and you surely will lose what you never were. That means you are clinging to something that was not really you, that you will lose. The, in our case, our understanding of body mind is the only thing of ours, and then we are that. That is never yours, never you. You will lose the identification of what you never were. That is the body mind. And then you gain what you already are. So far, you have forgotten you are wandering in the lava land, and then you really end up with what you are, and you stay there. It's kind of a riddle, but it's not riddle. It's just basically be, be yourself, not be yourself that of a personality and ego, but that. which is beyond that thought construct, personality and ego, and that life force, that sense of I, that I-ness, I thought, and that is the one you want to really settle down and stay there all the time. For that, you need a calm mind, and also after you realize you still have the calm mind, this time it doesn't run whenever it wants to. So it is in your control, you are in silence, and that silence itself is the peace and happiness and joy and all. Is that too fast, too much? Let me know. If you come and interact with me, then I can really go a little deeper into this from the perception of somebody else who is seeing these things differently. The whole thing came up like this. We were born in the age of science, and science really kind of refused the religion. The religion says there is a creator who made this, you know. But then age-old people said there is a creator. If he made it, you are also part of the creator, and you are the creator too. So that is very weird, right? But then actually, if you look at the statement, the creation brought you here as a part of creation. You also are one of the creator object, part of the creation, the one who is creating also. So they have developed the philosophies where they can identify the creator as a fullness, as a complete accomplishment that he has produced us, which is actually originally we are also fulfilled, we are complete too. And then when you really realize the completeness is within you, then you have realized yourself, something like that. And now, when you really realize this is the being I am the one who is in this pristine form, I am the one who is responsible for all the life and everything, then your mind stopping, you have so much capacity to inquire further, deep within, and then find out, yeah, and so on, so on, all that. Okay? So that's the way things stand. Ancient felt everything else is only one, and that one creates all these ingredients that is within that one life. So we're all in one energy, and we kind of take different lifespans and then leave the old bodies and come back to the same thing. Like this. What is the purpose in it and all that? People are different things. Somebody says it's still karma. The way you live today will determine your next life and all that. So we don't know. But what we know is we don't have to identify with a limited body, limited mind, but identify with something deeper and always there. And that is what Brahman in Hindu is called. That is what Tao in Chinese called. There are different names for the same thing. But basically, one energy, one consciousness in which we are, and we are also that consciousness. Once you realize that, there's enormous stability within you, enormous security, because you are going to last longer, eternal, not even longer. You are going to be here all the time anyway. So this makes much sense to me when I heard Ramana Maharshi said he's dying. He has this sarcoma on his arm, and they operated. It did not improve. He is dying. He knows he is dying, and then he kind of told those people who are weeping because they don't want to be without him because they are dependent on this guru, right? And he said, "I told you I'm not going anywhere." That means he may have the death of the body and the mind, but his being is not going to go anywhere. So once you realize that permanent soul, it may take another body, another mind, but it's still going to be here eternally. Not even just for the birth, but also eternally. Once people have that, they are kind of always uh, always secure, fearless, and they do whatever they do with complete. uh, enjoyment, attention, and accomplish a lot of things. Okay, so this is a very important subject for people to understand for their peace of mind, where the mind is not running all over, and really enjoying things because they know they're not going to die, but then they're going to be lasting here forever. That kind of permanence gives you lot of strength with it. Right? So that's what you want to figure out. Okay, that's what you want to understand. You cannot have the sense of it just by your intellectual understanding. It looks like a yeah good theory, good then but who knows? Who wants to believe whatever this Eastern or Western, whatever philosophy that is? So you got to embark on inquiry of yourself. Who am I? What am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? These are existential issues and questions. To have an answer from somebody's just imagination or somebody's belief, that's not allowed really to realize it. So you have to put that kind of mind aside and really go with your intuition inward. That is what the usually sages say. And then in your real inner chambers of your being, you feel the reality of your nature. And once you are in that nature, the world is yours, and then you can really understand a lot of things much better. Okay, so that's the topic I wanted to tell you, and then today, I just want to be whetting your appetite about these, different perspectives. You can take it or leave it. It's up to you. But I wanted to explain myself why I always say go to your being, reside in your being, understand your being, and all that. Because that is real. Everything else is not real, really. So once you understand that, it's much easier to face the consequence of any situation. If it happens. So you will take it much easier that way. Okay. Uh, Anybody wants to come up and say something about this? All right. So I will leave the discussion there and let people explore that. And then if they want to, they are always welcome to talk to me. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is going to be Proactive Wellness Day number 11 by Dr. Rao. And we're going to demonstrate pranayama, the breathing exercises of the yoga. And one by one, probably there are 10 of them. I will do them and I'll be on the Zoom also. So I'll be here on the Noon Vibe and also on the Zoom. And the Zoom link will be uh, in my link tree that is already pasted yesterday in my profile. Okay, so go there and find that and join me at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. That is 7 o'clock Central, and yours will be 8 Central in the East, and in the West it will be probably 5 a.m. In India it will be 5:30 p.m. Yes. So, in that I'll plan to show you some energy boosters and also regular breathing and how to incorporate breathing in your regular activity. And we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Bye. Okay.